I feel that music is a really important part of life, and that it really is a unique way to be a human. You know, it's music makes you feel, it makes you think, and it makes you live in a better way. And the mission of Mercury is to bring that experience to as many people as possible.
To me, what is really special about playing with Mercury is the fact that we have a chance to, with a small group of people, really commit to making passionate music. It's just an exciting musical part of my life for sure.
So the Death and the Maiden Quartet is one of his last composition. Schubert actually knew that he had a terminal disease, and he writes this string quartet about death, and there's a lot of depth in that this is something that he's really dealing with while he composed that. It's a beautiful, really strong piece. One of the best string quartet in the repertoire.
It's a quartet that I have loved since the first time I heard it. I remember being back in school and hearing people talk about Death and the Maiden, and before I had heard it, didn't know anything about it, and went and listened to it and was just blown away by the sheer musical drama of the piece. It has such a vast scope of emotions, and I feel like, in particular, the second movement is such a musically powerful piece of music.
There is a story, there's a program behind each of the movement, with the first movement starting with these three knocking chords, and then that really puts us in D minor, that puts us right there with the terrifying aspect of death. But also there's a beautiful contrast even in that first movement with the image of the maiden, and maybe the hope that can, or the relief that can come with death. The second movement is a funeral march, theme and variation, and we start with this march that will evolve into many beautiful variation that again explores the different color, the different emotions that comes with death. The third movement starts with this really strong thing. It's like a devil fiddler that opens in the scherzo, and then there's a contrasting movement inside of it where you have the violin, first violin playing really high, and a really kind of in a way hopeful, or something that really brings us to heaven. And the last movement is the dance of death. You have this dance movement into it, but you can almost see the different death characters, skeletons and such, dancing around in celebration of their victory. So to balance this recording, we have a string quartet by Mendelssohn as well. This one in the major key, in D major, which is a piece really full of life. It starts with a gesture just like that, a rocket coming up that brings this wonderful, joyful music.
It starts out with such an exciting 16th note accompaniment figure, and you hear just this explosion of energy, and to hear it done by multiple players, it just even gives it that much more oomph.
And through the movement, we experience different things. There's a beautiful, simple song in the third movement, and the last movement end up with this really flashy, virtuosic playing that really makes you want to tap your foot. At Mercury, we love to, at times, take string quartet repertoire and arrange it for our string orchestra. And this is an example of that. This arrangement was actually made by Gustav Mahler, a really famous conductor and composer. Many composers love to write for string quartet, and they put some of their best music in this intimate form. But by bringing it to the string orchestra, it makes everything grander. So it's really a great way to experience this wonderful repertoire. we perform unpaired instruments, and what does it mean for this music is mainly the strings, and the string that we use are period reproduction of string that they would have had while Mendelssohn and Schubert were writing this. They are string made out of beef or lamb gut, twisted, dried, and as you can think, it creates a much different sound than a string made out of steel. And I would say that one of the big advantage of that is this organic sound. This sound that can be really rich and warm, but at the same time can be really raw.
It was a real joy to put together. It was a challenge to put together, and it comes with those challenges when you take something that was written originally for 4 voices and then do it with 14 players. And it was an amazing journey.
I think you should buy this CD so that you can bring Mercury home and make your day a little bit better and different by listening to great music.